Today I want to demo a new feature coming in the next release of Franz, that is the ability to reduce data inside a script. So I have a topic here with some financial candles. If I look at the keys, they're just JSON objects with a symbol and a timestamp object, and a timestamp value, excuse me. And then the values are just an array of open, high, low, close, and volume numbers. And so if I bring up the scripting window, one thing you might notice is there are now these new functions here called reduce and render. And inside of Franz, there is now support for building different kinds of visualizations from your data. The visualization we're going to use here is just a candlestick chart, but just to show the most basic version of this functionality, you can see the reduce function is already populated so that it counts the number of records. So basically for every record that is processed, this function gets called with that record and the previous state, and the original state is nil. And so what we do here is we say if the state is nil, then we consider it to be 0, and then we add 1 to it. And so this counts the number of records. And then the default render function is nil. And so if I run this script, just press the play button, nothing happens. But if I return the state, you can see it prints the result in a new window. And obviously I can format this as a string to get slightly nicer output, but you get the idea. So in addition to this, we can, in our reduce function, declare our key and value. So I'm just going to use the JSON library to load the record.key and then the value, so record.value. Okay, and then for the state, this time I'm going to make it use a render.candlestick chart. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to push for every record in the state. It's going to push a value for the x axis and the value for the y axis. And the value for the x axis is going to be a render timestamp with the key.timestamp value divided by 1000, because the render timestamp constructor expects the timestamps to be in seconds, and our data has them in milliseconds if we look. So go back here. And then for the value, for the y-axis value, I'm going to construct a candlestick value. And so because our data is just a table with the open, high, low, close, and volume, we're going to ignore the volume. But because these values are in order, I can just table unpack the value here and then return my state. I'm going to return nil here, make sure everything works. Clearly I have made a mistake. Let's see, what is it? Sorry, this is supposed to be json.decode. Okay, that all works. And then here I can simply return my state. And you can see it generates a candlestick chart from my data. Now, ideally, I would tell it to also sort the data, and I can set the Y scale so that it doesn't look so flat. So let's see. Let's set the Y scale to be between 100 and 200. Okay, that's a little bit better. Let's go 150. Okay, that's better. And I can also just load more data in here. Let's say the recent 45 days of data, and then rerun my script. It's a bit, wide right now, so maybe I should set the width of the candles to be like 8 pixels. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Obviously, I can make this bigger, and I can export my data, my plot if I want to. And then another cool feature that's available here is the ability to compose the things that are rendered. So let me show you what I mean. So if I save my chart in a local variable, and I just say return render the H stack, or actually let me use a V stack here. So a V stack with my chart in it and some text here, then it renders my chart and some text beneath it. And I can use an H stack to stack things horizontally, or a V stack to stack things vertically, and I can combine these things in any number of ways that I want. So yeah, and you'll be able to find more information about the things that are available to render by going to help and then the Franz manual. Yeah, just expect more stuff like this in the future, and let me know if you have any suggestions. Thanks.